welcome back to Benny's Take. I'm your girl Benny, and today I'm gonna be bringing you yet another Love on Stage review found exclusively on the Kev on Stage Studios app. If you haven't already checked it out, please go ahead and check it out. I'll leave the link in the description box for you to check it out. And this is gonna be the last 3 episodes. I've been on vacation, so I haven't been able to really sit and gather my thoughts. So these are gonna be the last 3 episodes. So the 2 game nights and then their first date meeting in person in LA. So we're gonna be talking all about that. If you haven't already subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe, turn on the notification bell so that you always know when I upload. And let's go ahead and get started. So for today, as we talk through all of the things, I'm gonna be prepping up some vegetables for a soup I'm gonna be making later. So let's just go ahead and get started with Crystal and James. Now, Crystal and James, there's not much to be said. The 2 of them are moving forward in a positive light. When it came to game nights, they showed up in a matching set, which by the way was James' idea. So the 2 of them, again, intentionality, all of the things. Whenever you win the game night, you usually get a bonus date. The 2 of them lost that. The people that won was Tremaine and Sharita. Kudos to them for winning the date. And so yeah, Crystal and James, they're moving strong, intentionality, thoughtfulness, all of the things. James is laying it on thick. There's really nothing else we can say other than a lot of y'all men need to move with that same level of intentionality, that same level of care, and just that same level of thoughtfulness, because that's what it is. That man is thoughtful, that man is putting in effort, that man is trying his best to make Crystal feel like she's all that and then some, which she is. So kudos to the 2 of them. They're moving forward. Nothing weird has happened. They're still going strong. When it came to them being in LA, they were both very excited. When I say excited, I mean just excited and just also natural nerves. They were nervous to how is it gonna be, this, that, and the third, but at the same time, they were excited as well. So next up, I wanted to touch up on Chandra and Nate. Now, like I told you in the last couple reviews, Nate wasn't really feeling her like that. When you actually like somebody, when you're actually interested, there's a little bit more flexibility that can occur, which I don't think he's been able to have. And in my mind, it was because he doesn't really like her like that, which again, he has every right to like or not like somebody. I was really glad that Crystal ended up naming it, because Melissa was having a conversation with her so you feel as though things have changed. You guys were talking on the phone for 3 hours, and then just interest just went down. What do you think is that attributed to? At first she was talking about how, maybe it's just because he hasn't seen me in person, and then eventually she just ended up landing the plane that I just think he don't like me. I just don't think he's that interested in me, I believe is what she had said. And I just I'm glad she's saying it as that, and I hope, like I said, I hope I'm wrong. I hope that there's still any hope, that there's still anything that can still come out of this. But for her to also feel, us viewers, maybe we can be wrong about what we're reading into things too much, this, that, and the third. So maybe we can be wrong about that. However, comma, and then the period. If she herself, who exists in her body, has a conversation with him and she's actually I don't think he's interested, then it's what else can we conclude other than he might not really be interested? So there's no way for us to be beating around the bush and be maybe no. But again, I'm a hopeless romantic. I'm hoping that when he sees her in person, because first and foremost, Chandra came to slay. When I tell you Chandra, she had her hair done, her body snatched, everything together and tight. I don't know how Nate might be able to resist her in person, but she came together at the airport. You can tell that she brought it. She brought the game. She brought all of the vibes. And if it takes seeing her in person for him to be interested, a part of me is well, yeah, but then it's somebody's physicality is not really what makes them. You know what I'm saying? It's not really what builds the overall intimacy. If you've not been able to connect with her on an emotional level, on an intimate level, just outside of seeing each other in person, if you've not been able to do that, then even if you have that physical connection with her, how long is that really gonna last? You know what I'm saying? Like, how much weight is that really going to hold? Because again, physicality is not everything. Like when we're talking about long term, when we're talking about people, you know, seeing each other for the rest of their lives potentially, it has to be more than the physical. So I don't know how he's gonna react. They haven't actually met in person, so I don't know how they're gonna react to being in each other's presence. I don't know if he's gonna feel more attracted to her, if he's gonna suddenly become more interested in her after seeing her in person. But even if he does, well, I don't really know if that makes it any better. You know what I'm saying? Because if you see her in person, then you're like, oh my gosh, she's a baddie, I want her. Then that just lets me know that's all physical. You know what I'm saying? Like you're attracted to her physically. You could see yourself, you know, getting together, like, you know, physically. But if you're not connecting with, if you did not connect with her emotionally, if you did not connect with her like intimately with all the conversations and all the things that's been happening outside of the physical space, if you didn't do that, then if you're attracted to her in person, then it doesn't really do, I don't know. Maybe people are different. Maybe people, you know, are used to building things differently. That they will start with the physical and then, like, you know, they'll build their way from there. I'm not sure. But again, most sustainable relationships are not just maintained by physical attraction. So I hope that, I don't know. But then again, I commend him because he hasn't been rude. He hasn't been mean. He hasn't done any of the things. Like, he's just been really cordial and really kind. He hasn't been, you know, demeaning to her. He hasn't said anything that's like out of pocket. He's just not interested, and she's picking up on that. So let's see how they turn out as far as like the in-person date. But I don't think she's as hopeful. I feel like she just came there to make sure that his head is at least turned. Like, you're gonna see me today. I bet you're gonna see me though. So I'm like, okay, girl, come out here, snatch to the gods, do your thing. And also, this was like a random thing that happened during the ride from the airport between Nate and Tremaine. I am not even sure what they were talking about. I feel like they were talking about how sometimes when you're attracted to somebody, it might last long and then you might flip. I'm telling you right now, I have no idea what they were actually arguing about. What I do remember being the most important thing was James. When James went inside of that car, James was just looking like, what's happening? Because one thing about James is he's there for Crystal. James is all about Crystal and the relationship they're hoping to build together, the longevity of that relationship, the health of that relationship. That's what James is focused on. So when these two were bickering and doing the most, I don't even know it seemed as though they were saying the same thing. I can't remember what the point was being made, but they were getting really heated. And I was just like, what is happening right now? James, the whole time, he was just sitting and like watching and listening and just like watching and listening, because it's like, if it has nothing to do with Crystal, if it has nothing to do with Crystal and I being together, engaging and talking and laughing and having a good time, then I don't want nothing to do with it. And I was like, that's it right there. That's a man who's focused. That's the man who's not easily distracted by stupid things, by ridiculousness. He's there on a mission to meet Crystal and to build a life with Crystal, to be more intimate with Crystal. So when you're doing all of this extraness, you can count James out of it. And I was like, yes. And so last but certainly not least, we have Tremaine and Sharita. They were the biggest, you know, talking points for me, at least these last 3 episodes. So after second date, we spoke about how, you know, Tremaine made her feel seen, how he really told her, like, you know, you're sweet and spicy. I kind of want to see the sweet side of you, this, that, and the third, which like melted her, made her feel really pretty, made her feel like, you know, she can tap into her feminine era, all of those things. So they left date number 2 on a high. Then come to find out, like a few days later, I don't know how long it had happened, unfortunately Tremaine's one of Tremaine's friends, I don't know, best friend or just friend in general, had passed away. Not sure the circumstances, so my condolences to you, Tremaine. So with his friend passing, the communication kind of like, you know, took a bit of a turn, meaning that Tremaine wasn't really texting Sharita like that, wasn't really focusing on her. He was essentially just like grieving. Sharita unfortunately felt really hurt, like, oh, you're shutting me out. I don't deal well with people shutting me out. And so with that, she doubled down as far as like, you're not about to have me out here just like sitting here. I'm trying to be there for you. You're not even letting me in. I don't deal with that well. And so she immediately, like when I said the wall came back on and just like did a turn. And since then, things just like escalated even more. They tried to have conversations. And according to Tremaine, Sharita was not even listening to him. Sharita was not, giving him the time of the day, just essentially pressuring him to grieve the way that she would grieve and still text and still do all of those things. Why didn't he trust her to really hold that space for him? All of these things. So then I was just kind of like, girl, I love you, girl, but dang, that's a lot. Because it's like, again, if Tremaine is telling the truth, this is new. You know what I'm saying? Like, to expect that somehow this man is gonna hold, his vulnerability, just like start crying in front of you and just like making you that his go-to person as far as his grieving process goes, that's a little bit that's a little bit much to expect. Now, if he still did it, it would not have been a bad thing. Like, I would have still commended him, like, dang, like that's a lot of vulnerability, that's a lot of putting yourself out there, and that's a lot of risk. You know what I'm saying? Because what if he went to her with, all of this crying and all of these different things? What if she didn't receive it well? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's him risking, getting his feelings hurt, just like feeling a certain type of way. So I could understand him being like, I just need a breather. Allow me to just like have this moment to, grieve and process the loss of my friend, and then we can continue where we kind of left off. She was not receiving that as well at all, at least from what the show is showing and from what Tremaine has said. For the next episode, I think we'll hear more of her thoughts, but I was just kind of like, girl, please stop self-sabotaging. Please stop it, because this is not, he seems like he's a good guy. Like right now, it's giving toxic, it's not kind. You know what I'm saying? Like, you cannot expect this man to grieve the way you would grieve. Maybe you're somebody that would grieve still, keeping it pushing and just like life continuing. Maybe it's somebody that needs a second, just like a beat to just like process. And it's not nice that you're not holding that space for him, just like let him be. And again, I don't want to negate Sharita's feelings, because she has every right to feel as though like, I felt shut down, I felt shut out, I felt like, that we were not really connecting. I felt like, I was used to us talking every day and then we were not talking, so I missed him. I felt, I felt hurt, I felt upset, I felt a little like, that I was losing this person. All of those feelings are valid, and she has every right to feel those feelings. However, comma and then the period, this is the first time that this has happened. You know what I'm saying? It's not like Tremaine, from what she has said, it's not like Tremaine just has a reputation of like every other day he's leaving her out, making her feel shut out. You know what I'm saying? It's not like whenever there was traffic on the road and he's upset, now I can't talk to you, Sharita, no more. Oh, my food burned inside of the oven, now I'm so upset I can't talk to you anymore. That's not the case. There was an actual death that occurred. You know what I'm saying? And if it really hurt you as much as it did, and this is the first time this is happening, a healthy thing to do, in my opinion, is to say like, look, when you do this, it makes me feel this way. Moving forward, I would really like to be that person that's like holding that space for you, that you can come and just like, be your soft self and just like lay your burdens down. I want to be that person for you. I don't want to just be the kind of person that you talk to when things are high. I don't want to just be the person that, we just sit over here and flirt and just like go back and forth on all these like, conversations. And I really want to be somebody that you can just like rely on, fall into, intimacy with, and just like vulnerability. Like, I want to be that person for you. So if something else happens, like, I know it may be hard, but like, you can trust me. You can trust me to open up. You can trust me to, just like lay your heart out. Because essentially that's what her frustration is. But instead of leading with that, she's really just like, from what the show is presenting, so I don't know, from what the show is presenting, she's leading in even harder, just like trying to control how this man grieves. He should have did this, he should have, no, you cannot tell somebody how they should have reacted to a death that just, this person meant something to them. It's not like it was a death of a random celebrity. You know what I'm saying? This is his friend. you don't know how close they are, all of those things. So I just hope that maybe when they see each other in person, because things apparently just like went south. So watch the show so you can be caught up with all of the things. But apparently things just like, she was, even going even deeper, not even recognizing that she might be wrong, not even recognizing that, this man really is hurt. Can I not be so harsh and so nonchalant, just so like, let me just discard him? Because essentially it feels as though she has discarded him, and she has discarded him in a way that's like really hurtful, because you're not taking in any accountability of like, maybe I may be wrong with the way I'm reacting to him dealing with the death of his friend. There's no inkling of that. It's just like, my feelings were hurt, I don't want to do this anymore, and then that's it. And I'm like, girl, if this was a pattern, that's one thing. This is the first time this man has done this. Just tell him like, I don't like the way this makes me feel. Now, if he continues and it's like days have passed and this man is still shutting you out and all of these things, then I'll understand that maybe Tremaine needs to grow up a little bit and just, have a little bit more emotional maturity and all of that, all of those things. I can understand it then. But for the first time where this man did this, and his reasoning is that my best friend passed away, I'm still trying to figure it out, I'm still trying to deal with all of these things, and he's still a father, he still has to deal with his kids, he still has to deal with all of those things. So I can understand why this man would just be like, let me just take a breather. If you would prefer that he still leans on you when all that is said and done, then just say that. I want to be that safe space. I want to be that, just like, that rock, or that, soft pillow. Like, I want to be that soft pillow, soft couch, or whatever, that you can just come and lay it all down and just like feel safe. I want to be that for you. Then say that. That's it, girl. Allow this man. Again, you have every right to feel the way that you're feeling, but it's like, it's not coming off very kind. It's not coming off very healthy, the ways in which you're dealing with this, grieving process. And I believe, if I remember correctly, Tremaine even said that when the death happened, Sharita had told him that, take all the time that you need to just like process. And he was like, okay, then I'll take all the time that I'll need to process. And then when he came back and she was like, that's not how you're supposed to process. Even though I told you, you should take the time to process. You should not have taken the time to process. You should have then come to me and still just be like, oh, gee. Like, no. Let this black man be. Alrighty, there you have it. Those were my thoughts. What do you think? Am I bugging? Am I overreacting? Let me know down below. If you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe. Turn on the notification bell so that you always know when I upload. And also be sure to check out the Kev on Stage Studios app for all of these amazing contents, just like thought-provoking contents and all of the things. So definitely check it out, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye, Z's.